Today we are going to be reacting to what happened to Fortnite original emotes by ItsTrulyMystic. Guys, I do like a lot of the TikTok emotes that we've been getting. I think that they get a little bit too much hate. Something that I do really miss is the old charm of Fortnite emotes. Plus, man, back in the day, Epic Games used to be so good with what they made with the original Fortnite music. I'm talking like early chapter 1. But today, I'm excited to be talking about this. So please go show ItsTrulyMystic some love in the pinned comment description down below. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with too many YouTube channels. Let's watch this video together. I am very excited.
Back in the day, Fortnite used to be well known for having some of the most iconic dances in their game, like the Floss, Fresh, Electro Shuffle, and even the default dance move.
And even then, like, and it might be a case of the chapter 1 issue, but man, like, all of those dances are so much more iconic than what we've been getting now. And I don't think it's the fact that we've been like, getting too much, because if we were to get the same amount of emotes in chapter 1, people would have still loved them. There's just like not the same amount of care put into them.
But over time, we began to receive less and less of these original inspired dances and lean more into licensed music ones.
But then again, I understand Epic Games running into issues with things like Tidy, and I know that there was obviously a lot of things that they ran into. Like, I don't know if they ended up actually running into legal issues, but there were things that were obviously like inspired by somebody, and it could be worrying legally,
especially using popular songs or snippets from TikTok. This weird phenomenon is something that a lot of players have noticed, and even outsiders, as nowadays people often wonder why Fortnite has so many emotes in the game with licensed music as opposed to original music.
It's easier, and I would imagine, honestly, from an outside perspective, I would imagine that, do you think it sells better? I would imagine it does sell better. With all the people that are loving their TikTok music, there's a lot of TikTok songs that honestly I've liked to buy.
Not only that, but the dances themselves are, for the most part, directly ripped from a popular trend or music videos themselves for the particular song used.
But that's smart. If something's trending, then it makes sense for Fortnite to like want to hop on that trend, right? But I'm not saying like that's not what ItsTrulyMystic is saying. I'm just like thinking off the top of my head here.
Why did this begin to happen, and what made Epic significantly cut the amount of original dances given out to us now in the game, like through battle passes or the item shop? Well, that's what I aim to talk about in today's video. How's it going, everyone? It's ItsTrulyMystic, and in today's video, we're going to dive into what really happened behind the scenes with Fortnite's original...
And if you guys aren't familiar with ItsTrulyMystic, I just thought it would be a good time to plug this while he's doing his intro over here. If you guys aren't familiar with the channel, I really enjoy his commentaries. They're very laid back, so please, again, the support will be in the pinned comment description down below.
Dances and their shift to more viral licensed music that we get nowadays. Without further ado, let's get into it. So we have to start from the beginning all the way back to the first ever emote introduced to Fortnite. And if it wasn't obvious, it's the default dance.
And this is, you know what's crazy? As iconic as this is, you don't see a lot of people doing this anymore. And you have to still get it when you make a Fortnite account, right? Like everybody who started in chapter 3, 4, 5, 6, you probably still have the default dance. I actually don't know if that's the case. I would imagine so. But it's funny how many people used to use this and you never see it anymore, eh?
Otherwise known as dance moves. Now, this is the first emote that players obtain and has always remained that way ever since the game released. The default dance has two different songs that play when you use it. You have the snappy snare drum beat.
And you always got this one out of the way because when you actually wanted to use the default dance, you always wanted to go with the other one, eh?
And the more iconic one with the goofy synthy.
Yeah. I need to use this more often. Dude, I feel like it'd be low-key a good troll if you were to use this emote nowadays. If you guys follow the streams or follow the channel, you might know that I love throwing tomatoes at people. So I would imagine like throwing a tomato at somebody, doing this trash can spray paint on the ground, then the dance moves. I feel like that'd be a little bit like, that'd be like an iconic troll right there.
Fun fact, there used to be a third one with a more playful vibe to it, but the reason for its removal is unknown and remains a mystery to this day.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I wish they kept that, man, because it's a very like clean, nice sounding emote, you know? Like I think that, what did Mystic describe it as, playful? Yeah, it's a good one.
Now, the emote itself is heavily inspired by a dance done in the sitcom Scrubs. But as it turns out, a lot of Fortnite's earlier dances were heavily inspired by pop culture references and media, like the Fresh from the Carlton dance from the show, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Or the
Now, yeah, I actually don't know if you can run into legal issues for this type of thing. Like if the kid from if the backpack kid wanted to sue Epic Games for his dance, like do you own dance moves? I have no idea how that works legally.
Floss from the backpack.
Because it's just moving your arms, right? It's just moving your legs. Like, do you own a dance? Like, I don't know. Like, do you have to patent a dance, or is it just because like you might be able to get away with like taking legal action because you made something so iconic? I have no idea how that works.
Tidy, swipe it, height, all taken from popular dances done in real life and put into the game. But instead of using the original music from the particular song associated with the dance, Fortnite used original music. And the reason why this was done was to get behind copyright laws. You see, Fortnite never credited or compensated any of the creators or performers of these dances, and
yeah, and I still like that they like straight. I mean, obviously, I don't like that they did this, but it's funny how they straight up just like how ballsy they got with something like the tidy emote, right?
This is what sparked trouble for them in the future. Of course, Fortnite still made other emotes that weren't pulled from specific media, but the most popular ones derived from these iconic dances that were well known in pop culture. And this attention is what made things difficult for them moving forward. As Fortnite grew and blew up in popularity, many of the creators or performers realized this, and around the same time filed major lawsuits against Epic over
I remember hearing like a little bit about a couple of them, but again, I don't know what happened to them. I don't know if they won any lawsuit or if they even had a case. Again, I'm usually a pretty educated guy, guys, but I don't know when it comes to like the legality of dance moves.
their dances being sold in-game without the proper credit or compensation given. And the result? Well, Epic actually won every single one.
Oh,
You see,
there you go. I didn't know that.
there was actually a US copyright law that protected them against all these lawsuits. Any short dance routine or individual moves aren't copyrightable, and so every case filed was either dismissed or dropped.
Well, sorry for wasting your time questioning all of that, guys. I did not know that took place. I remember hearing a little bit, like, again, back in Chapter 1 about people, like, suing Epic Games for some things, but I never followed up on it.
So you think that moving forward, Epic would keep doing it and get away with it every single time, right?
Oh,
Well,
yeah, especially because they're such a greedy billion-dollar company who wants to profit and suck everybody.
No, that wasn't the case. After the lawsuits didn't succeed,
Suck everybody of the resources. I should probably left it that.
the backlash that Epic got was loud, and a lot of people felt that what Fortnite has been doing was scummy, profiting off of this loophole and stealing from the creators. So a new system was put in place, the Icon series.
And now everybody cries and whines about it, eh?
With this new rarity, or I guess I should say series of cosmetics made, Epic would now be able to get permission from the creator or performer of a dance, or even companies like TikTok, and collaborate to release these new Icon series emotes.
And I've liked a lot of the icon emotes. I like the icon emote rarity. I like that they bring a bunch of like actual licensed music over to the game. I just wish that it was also a mix of original dances emotes, because the people who made the music behind Fortnite are very, very talented. And also, I want to say, like, I love ItsTrulyMystic's commentaries, guys. Look at the flow and the change in the transition there. Like, I don't know, I always appreciate that stuff. Like, the change in music, the vibe's really nice, and I like the transition there.
And the biggest change made to these Icon series emotes was that they now include licensed music or the dance. These new dances became increasingly popular with the player base, and Epic saw huge
Yeah, and Moongazer, I love that song, dude.
numbers in sales and usability. So a lot more effort and production went into making these as opposed to the original Fortnite dances. Emotes like the Renegade, Jabba Switchway, Out West, and so on and so forth became fan favorites and highly sought after for years. But what happened to the original Fortnite emotes? Like,
I would imagine that it's just a case of Epic Games selling better, or selling and making more money off of the icon emotes and the TikTok dances, because again, like, you got to think about the younger audience too. And I know there's like obviously a lot of older people that would like those songs, but even then they add things like off the top of my head, things like Metallica. There's an audience for like old people getting icon emotes as well.
the Fresh, Tidy, and Rambunctious, which got caught up in the lawsuit drama. Well, Epic decided to not allow for those to return to the shop. Out of respect and to not refuel the fire, they opted to keep them out of rotation forever.
I don't know. Forever? Did they say that? Did they actually claim that? If anybody could shed some light in the comments, I would appreciate that. Did they say that, or are they just making it rare for when it comes back, they can have a bunch of people purchase it?
That was until they accidentally brought back 2 out of 3 of those emotes to the shop.
Oh yeah, they did bring that back actually, didn't they? Now that I think about it. I forgot about that, man. Sorry. Idiot Kyle over here, but hang on. Accidentally. I will never believe that, man. I'm sorry.
So yeah, guess that didn't really last long. But if you still have the fresh emote, congratulations, you have the rarest item shop emote ever in Fortnite.
Yeah, until Epic Games accidentally releases it.
As for the other dances that had lawsuits filed behind them, since they are Battle Pass exclusives and can never come back, you'll just never see them sold again, period. And so now we make it to the present where Fortnite makes and sells way more Icon Series dances than original. And what also sucks is that for a while now, Battle Passes haven't been getting enough original dances like they used to back in the past.
Yeah, like they've been doing an okay job with the battle passes, especially in Chapter 6, but something that I really miss is like those iconic dances, things like Hype, things like, was Smooth Moves part of one? I don't think so, but there are so many Chapter 1 emotes, and like I can think of, I can name some more for you, but they're just way more iconic. It's not because they're from Chapter 1. You can tell that there's a little bit more passion and love put into them.
I mean, you're lucky enough to get one or two, since for the most part they sprinkle in a bunch of gestures.
Yeah, that I don't like. Like, it's fine if it's something like Leafy Longboard, and over here, like, it fits with the skin. I like that. It's somebody like, you know, it's the skin traversing on something that goes along with them. That's fine. But there's so many, like, how many emotes it's basically like this? Or another variation of, like, a wave, you know, something like that. It's just so simple. The 200 V-Buck emote, it's just not appealing to me compared to like the 800 purple dances we used to get.
Prop-related actions. Weirdly enough, a dilemma has been created for Epic now. You see, the community constantly expects more from Epic now in regard to dances because of the evolution that they have undergone. We went from old school dances with original music to TikTok trendy dances with licensed music to now just any somewhat trendy dance from media with licensed music.
But I think that's cool too. It's important to note. I think it's cool. I just missed the balance that we had. And I think it'd be, in my opinion, I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments. In my opinion, I would personally really like it a lot more if the Battle Pass had some like really iconic emotes again, and a lot of like clear effort put into them. Then do what you want at the item shop. Like, it'd be nice to still see some original emotes, but get rid of those, just the 200 V-Buck ones that I'm sick of seeing.
A lot of people have pointed out that the dances that we get nowadays don't feel high enough quality, with the music carrying the emote a majority of the time. Movements feel stiff or uninspired, in contrast to the outgoing and energetic poses your character did in older Fortnite dances. And
to be honest, that's true. I completely agree with that. But if I'm buying an icon emote, it's not even about the emote, it's about the dance. Like, I love I Walk the Moon, you know, like, that's what I'm getting it for.
even with the addition of that licensed music, sometimes people might not be a fan of the lyrics or voice behind the song. On top of everything I just mentioned, players also expect these dances to be released quicker. When a song or dancing trend with music becomes popular or even viral, it usually takes Epic a couple of months to finally have an Icon Series dance.
Yeah, sometimes it's not even a couple of months, dude. You ever notice, like, every once in a while, it's like, oh my god, that was a trend, like, what, a year ago? What did I think the only one off the top of my head, like, they were on the ball on, is the NSYNC emote for Deadpool, which is genius.
For it in the game. And
But even then, like, were they really on the ball? It came out a little bit after the movie.
Sense, because it does take Epic months to work on these dances, to get the license, and to make sure that they work flawlessly in game. But by the time they do release, the trend has either died off or at the very least become way less popular than it was before.
I wonder if that affects sales, because Epic Games has consistently released these things after the trends are over. If it was affecting sales and it's like, okay, well, this would have projected to sell a lot more, maybe we should, you know, be a little bit more on the ball. And I know there's a lot that goes into licensing and things like that, but knowing Epic Games and their capabilities, I would imagine that they are capable of being on the ball with this type of thing. I would imagine that it just sells anyways.
So not only can Epic be late to these trends, but in terms of quality, the movements within the dance don't feel well executed and half-baked at times.
Yeah, but it sells, right? So don't fix something that's not broken.
And what could make things worse is when people complain about an emote being sped up or it not having the best part of a specific song. So this all puts a lot of stress on Epic when it comes to releasing these newer Icon Series emotes. But in the end, it's probably all worth it, considering that no matter what, they sell every time, and the second time, and the third time, and the fourth time, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, again, like, I imagine that it's majorly successful, and if I had to ballpark it, guys, I would imagine that what they're doing now is way more successful than what they've been doing with the Chapter 1 emotes.
So that's probably why Fortnite stopped making original Fortnite dances, or at least why they significantly reduced the amount they make, to avoid backlash, to make what's trendy, and to make more money. But it does suck because part of the charm about classic Fortnite, especially those older battle passes, were the original Fortnite dances.
But now you have to pose the question too, if they were to have a balance, if they were to still have all of those like original Fortnite dances with a lot of passion and love clearly put into them, would people choose those emotes over their favorite icon emotes in the item shop? That I really don't know. I can tell you that I personally would be more drawn into something like Fortnite used to do in Chapter 1, but would that be the case for the majority of the Fortnite community? I don't know, and I might say it might be the TikTok-ish emotes.
I think that if they were to ever start bringing them back full swing, they would need to change their approach. Or introduce something new and big like how they did it with the introduction of the Icon series. Because realistically, if Fortnite were to just start giving us a lot of original dances out of nowhere, people would start to want the Icon series stuff back. So,
classic with the Fortnite community, eh? But honestly, that's kind of understandable because they've been, again, they are good emotes. There are a lot of really, really good emotes. It's just something that I also miss that Fortnite used to do, the Fortnite original emotes.
oh, they need to be smart. But I know that it's doable and would make a lot of people very happy again if they were to return. Plus, they had so many bangers back in the day. I mean, Slick, Twist, Make It Rain. Fortnite has some of the best composers and producers for their music.
Yep.
So absolutely.
And they do not get enough love when it comes to just the emotes in general, to the live event music. Oh my god, everything that Epic Games does, with the exception of maybe some boss music, it is beyond peak.
Without a shadow of a doubt, they can make a legendary comeback with the original stuff.
Absolutely.
I mean, we have been getting original stuff in the form of jam tracks now. And honestly, some of them are pretty good. So,
oh yeah, you know what? I didn't even think about that. And that's actually true. I never really thought about that. There has been some bangers. I can't remember what it's called, but I have it in my lobby all the time. Dude, I unironically like that song. And I am unironically, I keep meaning to do this, I have not done it yet, add it to my YouTube music playlist. Oh my god, and yes, I'm not a Spotify user, I'm a YouTube music enjoyer, okay? The album has some squares on it. And it was in Chapter 6, Season 2, I'm pretty sure. Oh, I wish I could remember that, man.
maybe soon we could eventually see.
It goes, I'm going to sound so stupid if I don't get it. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-ba-ba-ba. It goes like that. But if maybe I just sounded cringe and stupid doing that.
Some emotes paired up with them, that would be nice and would be a great way for original emotes to begin to make a return. But anyways, that's going to be it for today's video on what happened to the original Fortnite dances.
Yeah, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, to be honest with you. And guys, ItsTrulyMystic has been really, really grinding out the commentaries lately. I know he's like had a revitalized passion for content, and it's been very nice to see as somebody who's enjoyed his content for a long time. So please, again, show him some love in the pinned comment description down below. And we also did react to a previous ItsTrulyMystic video. You can check it out right here, guys. I would love to have you over there. Thank you very, very much for watching, guys. Take care, everybody.